SDG8 Big Questions. Where did it begin?
Have you ever wondered where the movement for workers' rights began?
Absolutely. It all started with the formation of the International Labour Organization in 1919.
That's right. And when it became part of the UN, labor rights were included in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights.
Exactly. They defined decent work as a right that respects human dignity and safety at work.
And labor unions play a huge role in this, right? They help workers come together for common goals like fair pay and safety standards.
Yes. Unions are crucial for advocating for workers' rights and improving conditions.
It's interesting how local and national economic growth relies on worker productivity too.
Definitely. When workers earn decent wages, they can contribute to the economy by spending on goods and services.
Speaking of which, the global GDP growth rate per capita was only 1.3% in 2014, which is quite a slowdown compared to previous years.
Right. Developing regions were growing faster than developed ones, with 3.1% compared to 1.4%.
Investments in economic development are key to creating better job opportunities and improving quality of life.
And we must remember that economic growth should not harm our environment. It's all interconnected. Why does this issue matter? The global unemployment rate was 6.1% in 2015, but it hits women and youth harder.
Right. Women and youth aged 15 to 24 are more likely to face unemployment than men and older adults.
Exactly, and in most regions except for Eastern Asia and developed areas, women's unemployment rates are higher than men's.
That's alarming. Unemployment can lead to poverty and poor health, both mental and physical.
Yes, and financial inclusion is also crucial for economic security. Without access to financial services, growth can be stunted.
In 2014, 62% of adults had an account at a financial institution, which is an improvement from 51% in 2011.
That's a significant increase. It shows progress, but inequalities still persist.
For instance, in 2014, the pay gap ratio between CEOs and median workers in the US was a staggering 204 to 1.
And some CEOs earned over 1,000 times what their average worker made. That's just unfair.
Government corruption can make things worse, diverting funds meant for social good.
It's frustrating that workers often have to strike for better pay and conditions, especially in conflict areas.
Yes, and protests can sometimes lead to violent government responses, which is deeply concerning.
Who and what are affected?
Have you noticed how many women are affected by economic struggles?
Absolutely, existing inequalities really get worse when resources are low.
Right? Women often have to rely more on men, which can lead to increased decision-making power for them.
And that can create unsafe situations, including intimate partner violence and risky behaviors.
It's heartbreaking. Women often cut back on their food intake to ensure their families have enough during financial crises.
Speaking of vulnerable groups, what about children? Child labor is still a huge issue.
Yes. While it declined from 246 million to 168 million between 2000 and 2012, there are still 85 million in hazardous work.
And sub-Saharan Africa has the highest rates, with 21% of children engaged in labor.
It's a complex situation. Then there are migrant workers, who are often overlooked.
Exactly. In 2013, there were about 232 million international migrant workers, and many face serious rights violations.
They lack access to essential services and educational opportunities for their kids too.
It's all interconnected, and these issues need more awareness and action. What needs to be done?
Have you noticed the challenges youth face when transitioning to decent jobs?
Absolutely. It seems like they need better access to education and training to meet job market demands.
Exactly. Investments in high-quality training can really make a difference in their skill sets.
And let's not forget about the need for social protection and access to basic services for all youth.
Right. A non-discriminatory environment is crucial for everyone to thrive.
The government plays a vital role here, supporting sustainable and innovative economies that respect labor rights.
Definitely. When communities support personal security and innovation, it leads to more employment opportunities.
And we need policies that protect people from exclusion and ensure fair pay and safe working conditions.
I agree. Governments must act responsibly to uphold the rights of workers through training and monitoring.
Labor unions are also crucial in advocating for changes in legislation to help migrants find work opportunities.
Yes. Migrant workers contribute to the economy, so they should have access to the same benefits as everyone else.
It's all about creating an inclusive system that supports everyone in the workforce.